Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive insights, and wisdom, and we go as guided. And action-packed as always, so we are going to just jump right in and keep everything moving. Welcome, Alicia. You're going to see that we have a red and white theme. That red and white theme has to do with Saturn. It has to do with the double crown of Egypt, which is a white crown and a red crown that were combined. So let's just jump in. Very quickly, we have nourished while waiting. We have biting through. We're going to be working with this, biting through. Saturn is moving into Aries. This biting through. A lot of humility as well, but biting through. Then we have, it's a 9-year all year long, so small restraint, keep surrendering. And follow, 17, following, show by example, be led. It's your soul source connection with the overall intention of uniting from the inside out. Uniting, unite. Well, let's look at these two charts because we're also going to be backing up. Let me just go back for a second. We're going to be working with on the 12th of May was the Scorpio full moon. It's perfect because today is the 21st of May, which is like these mirror opposites, these inverse. So we're working with the Scorpio full moon. We're working with Saturn moving into Aries. That's coming up on the 25th of May. And we're also working with, and Saturn will be traveling, kind of a co-presence with Neptune in Aries. And there's another one. It'll come back to me. But so let's look at these charts. So here's Sun enters Gemini. And when I saw this astrological chart, it immediately, I kept getting like the Pope, the mitre, the Pope's crown, if you will, or hat, the mitre. And this is where then there were flashes of Egypt. And the red and white crown of Egypt. It represented the unification of Egypt. And then I heard this aspect of like the bishop's hat falls. And so there's a lot that is going on with the sun entering Gemini. There is this aspect of things Humpty Dumpty, things coming undone, things falling off. And I have to say, when I looked at this chart, it was like, oh, there's both an auspiciousness about it, but then there's also this reticence, this kind of like holding your breath in a way. Well, then we look at the chart for where Saturn enters Aries. And what was interesting is I also Saturn entering Aries is like the big deal. This is a big deal. And yet the unseen kept drawing me back to this chart. The sun enters Gemini. So everything's purposeful. Here we are, though, when I got to this chart, the Saturn entering Aries, there was this sense of like, what I heard from the unseen was, the first thing was, they said a regenerative humbling. It is our key word. Regenerative is our key word. And note this beautiful rain, like a rainstorm, it's raining with this beautiful red umbrella. Well, you're going to see why regenerative. But let's just go to this first and keep in mind the umbrella. We had it a few weeks ago where it was the inverted umbrella. Now we have it upright, but regenerative. Of, relating to, or marked by regeneration. Relating to the improvement of a place or system, especially by making it more active or successful, or to making a person feel happier and more positive. Able to or tending to regenerate, to regrow, or be renewed or restored, especially after being damaged or lost. An ability to regrow or become better. Something that aims to do no harm and lead to benefits and a reversal of harm. So this is our key word, regenerative. This coincides with this Saturn enters Aries chart, astrology chart. And then I got the most interesting phrase, because it is our astrological influences. So when we're looking at all of these astrological influences and the planets changing signs and so forth. So for the sun enters Gemini, it was by Queen, another one bites the dust. So you can see there's this a little bit of apprehensiveness, pensiveness, like, oh, okay. The bishop's hat falling off. It's like this, another one bites the dust. Okay. And then we fast forward 5 days because the sun enters Gemini. This was yesterday on the 20th of May. Then on the 25th of May coming up is when Saturn enters Aries. With that, the unseen, the astrological theme is the umbrella effect. And I hadn't heard this term before, umbrella effect. And so, sure enough, you Google and you find out that, if I can find it, here it is. In essence, the umbrella effect refers to a phenomenon where a dominant force, entity, or principle creates a protective and supportive environment that extends benefits to others. We are leaving the patriarchal Piscean era. We've left. We have entered the matriarchal Aquarian era. This coincides with Saturn entering Aries in co-presence with Neptune. Neptune is our highest ideals, right? It's the dreams, it's the ideals, it's everything we aspire. It can also represent illusion, delusion, and so forth. So here these two, Neptune already went into Aries, moved into Aries. Saturn now will be moving on Sunday, the 25th of May. And there's a regenerative humbling for all to see. So, because when I looked at this chart, this astrological chart of Saturn entering Aries, again, there's it's number 6 from the unseen. We're flying high above the clouds. The umbrella effect, a regenerative humbling. And this aspect, so what it's saying to us is Saturn in Aries. And it's interesting because from an astrological standpoint, Saturn in Aries is in its decline. It's not the best house sign to be in for Saturn. And yet, there's something regenerative about this. There's something humbling. Saturn is Saturn, Chronos, Father Time, the great teacher. There is this sense of wisdom, of humility, grace, and how we learn from the past. Saturn has just come all full circle. So it's approximately 30 years, 30-ish years. So it's gone all the way around the astrological wheel. So it's completing something, and now it has this ability to look back while it also leads us forward. And it's conjunct in co-presence, if you will, with Neptune, this higher ideal. So it's number 1 and number 6. Number 1 from the unseen is a regenerative humbling for all to see. So this means it's going to play out on the world stage, this regenerative humbling. When we see it in our lives, if we've been too high and mighty, if we've been, just so full of ourselves, there's going to be a regenerative humbling. World leaders, institutions, businesses, corporations, those that are in the public eye, if you've been too high and mighty with yourselves, and you'll see from the astrology, we'll get into in a second, this fall from grace, this regenerative humbling. It's not meant to harm us. It's meant to bring us back down to earth, to ground us, so that we can actually do what this era requires of us, which is for the people. It's not for ourselves, it's for the people. It's the inverse of where we've been. We are running into this age and this era where everything we do will have this wonderful umbrella, this phenomenon where a dominant force, entity, or principle creates a protective and supportive environment that extends benefits to others. So what we do will create this magic. It will bring the best of us up and out in service to all. And then by reciprocity, by doing that, we, the individual, receive the experience, the beauty, the glory of that. It's a complete inverse of where we've been. It is the soul and the soul source connection leading, and the ego, mind, personality, the human, in service to, in concert with it, but really in service to it. We've talked about the ego in the sidecar and the soul driving on the motorcycle in the sidecar analogy. And then number 6, we're flying above the clouds. It's a song by Amber, and we've had it before, but it's this whole piece of Saturn in Aries in co-presence with Neptune brings about this regenerative humbling and this kind of renewal, this phenomenon of dominant forces creating protective and supportive environments that extends benefits to others. And it's interesting against the backdrop, in the United States, where there are those that are wanting to take benefits away, wanting to dismantle support and nourishment and so forth. And yet this is the antithesis of that. And so a regenerative humbling, it's like when you're too high and mighty, when you're too full of yourself, Humpty Dumpty, down the fall arrives. The bishop's hat falls off. Another one bites the dust. It is our astro influences. So, and we've been talking about this juxtaposition of which train are you on and so forth. Well, another one bites the dust, or the umbrella effect. So let's move into want to jump into, and let me just, because it's from 1 Thessalonians 2:12, and it said, "We pleaded with you, encouraged you, and urged you to live your lives in a way that God would consider worthy, for he called you to share in his kingdom and glory." There's a piece about this from a spiritual standpoint. This is scripture, biblical scripture, yes. Okay. However, there's a spiritual message here that says everything we do matters. And so we're being called, be ready, we're being called, we're always being called to live in a way, Neptune, higher ideals, that is our highest ideal. It's the version of ourselves and the world that we wish to live in. and that it's possible. It's more than possible. It's real. It's tangible. It's real. We simply need to choose it. So in our individual lives and in our collective lives. And again, remember, one linking upon the next, one person choosing it, the next person choosing it. It becomes like this beautiful, a tsunami in the best way. Like this wave, that just washes over everyone that says, yes, this is the path we chose. This is the train we're on. This is the world we wish to live in. This is the octave of myself I am. Not that I wish to be, but that I am. And that it's present. We put it front and center. So let's go to, I want to give you, because this is all about, before it was Venus, Venus, Venus. This is Saturn, 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 Saturn and Neptune in Aries. This is a major shift. And again, all the outer planets, the heavy hitters, are changing signs within a 16-month window from late 2024 to early 2026. They're all shifting. So this is from astrologer Channy Nicholas at channy.com. Saturn is the farthest planet that we Earthlings can see with the naked eye. It represents the barrier, the limit, the rule. It's the planet that has a knack for saying no and serving the tough love we don't always want but often need. Saturn's energy is slow moving, and Aries is the sign that likely coined the phrase, eat my dust. This fast-paced cardinal fire sign is known for its courage and assertiveness, but its brash MO isn't necessarily the wisest. Add up all these ingredients and you get Saturn in Aries, which is about to give us a crucial course correction. See, it's about that. We've gone around full circle. It's looking back, meaning it already knows. Saturn knows where it's been. Saturn knows where we've been. So while it's a review, it's forward. Its action is forward. And in Aries, it's quadrupled down on that. Like a blacksmith, and we've had this, it's the Temperance card. Like a blacksmith shaping metal in the flames of a forge, this combination can harness the heat of our passions to create something that lasts, the umbrella effect. In Aries, Saturn sharpens the celestial ram's instinct to get things started and offers the tools required to follow through. But there's a catch. The ancients considered Aries the sign of Saturn's fall, its detriment, its fall. Saturn's measured approach and Aries' craving for instant gratification can be an awkward combo, like trying to accelerate with the emergency brake on. A planet in its fall is said to be disgraced or humiliated, a regenerative humbling for all to see. So, a planet in its fall is said to be disgraced or humiliated. So this can be an aggravating placement for Saturn. But there's a power that comes with understanding what it means to hit rock bottom. See, there's an empowerment. Saturn, the great teacher, Father Time, Kronos, there's this aspect of the humbling is for us. So it's not like punishment or something being done to Saturn, done to us. It's being performed, it's occurring for us to bring us back down to a state of humility and grace and reverence and gratitude, to see where we've been so that we don't make the mistakes or the choices. There are no mistakes, choices, so that we don't make the same choices we did prior. Been there, done that, right? We've been there. So Channy goes on, Saturn is also connected to the structures of society, from roads to bridges to heads of government. And according to the ancients, a planet in its fall is in a state of ruin. So when Saturn is in Aries, figurative statues of kings, or really any leaders on a power trip, tend to tumble down. This astrological chart of the sun enters Gemini, the bishop's mitre, the Pope, the bishop's mitre, this kind of on high tumbling. And just to break in here for a second, I just want to bring in the upper and lower crowns of Egypt. This goes all the way back. I mean, this goes way back. We're talking millennia. So here there's something about the fact that this is coming from on high, that these crowns, the white crown of Upper Egypt, the red crown of Lower Egypt, and how they came together. But they are depicted as having come from the unseen, the otherworldlies, which is why we have them. So there's a point here of why this is being shown to us. It is a Neptune, highest ideals, Saturn, great teacher, the taskmaster. It's all happening for us. So Saturn is connected to the structures of society, from roads to bridges to heads of government. And so when it's in its detriment, Saturn is in Aries, figurative statues of kings or really any leaders on a power trip tend to tumble down. Yes, this period can embolden the insecure autocrats who rule through fear-mongering and bullying. Neptune. Saturn is with Neptune in Aries. So it's incumbent upon us to see through the illusion, to see through the fear-mongering and the bullying, because that's weak. It's weak and insecure. They're terrified. They know the gig is up. It's over. So what do? You bully and intimidate and fearmonger. No problem. That's the shadow aspect of Neptune, of Saturn in Aries. The greater ideal is what's on offer, what they don't want us to see, to claim, to rise up and have. Well, rise up we will. Rise up we do. And fall they may. So yes, this period could embolden the insecure autocrats who rule through fear-mongering and bullying, but it could also dethrone our most powerful tyrants. See, both are on offer. Whatever happens, Saturn in Aries is sure to be a welcome change of pace, a silver lining in this potentially tricky transit. It's about 2+ years that Saturn will be in Aries. And for a good first part of that, Saturn will be in a co-presence, in close proximity to Neptune. So it makes it different. So let's go, I want to go to hexagram 21, because this is about biting through. And this is from Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com. Its action is to discern. Its hidden influence is obstruction, innovate. So see, we are in this place of obstruction, of getting to where we want to go. There are forces that are trying to prevent it from happening. Now it's a fait accompli that we do get there. However, its underlining cause is the well, inspire. See, it's the well. When you come together, we the people, Aquarian, matriarchal, when we come together, rise up together, this is where the magic is. That's the well, and it inspires. It encourages others. So, Carrie Hone, cafeosoul.com. Oftentimes we feel that life is unfair. However, when we look at the natural world, there is nothing resembling justice. Nature merely evens out its extremes or removes blockages to achieve balance. And this truth will eventually come to light in the situations that we all face. We are a part of nature. Humanity, humans, are a part of nature. So again, no matter how much we believe that we can run roughshod over people and places and Mother Earth and so forth, it's the unseen. It's Mother Nature. It's Mother Earth. They are the powerhouses. So we are a part of nature. If we have attached ourselves to illusions of right and wrong that block our forward progress, biting through will dispel the illusion. Unless growth is in the equation, life tends to reorganize by breaking things down. See, if we're not growing, if we're trying to go backwards, well, that's stagnation, entropy. Moving forward, that's progress. So biting through will dispel the illusion. Unless growth is in the equation, life tends to reorganize by breaking things down. Ideas that foster separateness or boundaries, blocking renewal or union, need to be chewed over. This is the biting through, the chewed over, or presented through experience until the illusion is transformed into clarity. It's until we see it with clear eyes. Again, the powers that be, they know the gig, the human powers that be, they know the gig is up. They know the people are awakening. They are not interested in going back to where we've been. We're not interested. The people are not interested in being held down, held back, suppressed, oppressed, bullied, intimidated. What they want, it's the well. They want union. Union with themselves. Union with others. Union with Mother Earth. Harmony. Unity. Everybody wants to go out and have a joyful, happy life. And remember, that's contagious. Courage is contagious. That was in one of the shows. Continuing, obstruction as the hidden influence shows that any blockage will come down. See, it's a fait accompli. The blockages will come down. Discernment is how the truth has to be given careful consideration, even if you'd rather not face it. These things may be uncomfortable. It may be not fun to face it. But the truth, discernment is how the truth has to be given careful consideration, even if we'd prefer not to face it. The truth is more important than wishes when receiving hexagram 21, biting through. It is time for you to see the truth. So it's time for us to see the truth in this situation. And until we do so, our progress may be blocked. See, it's until we really see through the illusions and see the reality, the truth, we may be blocked. But it's a fait accompli that we move forward. Open to the possibilities that can emerge after the truth is clearly recognized. The truth is we're moving forward. The truth is matriarchal Aquarian era is here. The truth is the people are awakened all around the globe. They're saying enough is enough. No more let them eat cake. Been there, done that. And look, it didn't bode well for the king and queen of France at that time. The French Revolution. We've talked about Pluto in Aquarius, not since the French, American, and Industrial Revolutions. It hasn't been there since then. This was a part of that. We come to our first quote. The truth cannot be silenced. It doesn't matter how much you try to lather onto it. The truth cannot be silenced. And this image of Lady Justice, she may be blindfolded, but she knows the truth. It's her inner soul source connection guiding her. So she knows the truth cannot be silenced. We won't allow it to be silenced. So now let's move to, I'm going to do a quick piece on Pam Youngin's North Point Astrology Journal. And she speaks to Saturn enters Aries. A foundational shift occurs this week when Saturn leaves Pisces and enters Aries. Saturn is in charge of manifestation on the physical level, the real world. See, we're being, this regenerative humbling for all to see, we're being brought back down to earth, the quote unquote, the real world. So Saturn is in charge of manifestation on the physical level, the real world, related to the creation of structures, laws, and boundaries. Its influence is apparent in our experience of authority figures, governments, businesses, and hierarchies. Saturn is also the planet of maturity, discipline, and self-reliance. As Father Time, it rules our experience of life as being sequential, governed by the principle of cause and effect. So this was an interesting piece here because there's for the first time ever in doing the weekly wisdom and insights show, I often use the Dane Rudhyar and astrological mandala Sabian symbols. I was looking at both Sun enters Gemini, that chart, and the Saturn enters Aries chart. And the unseen was like, and normally I would go and capture each Sabian symbol. And this time they said, no. And I just cleared them all out. There are 20 symbols per chart, and I just cleared them out. And there was an awareness that time as we know it, that the era as we know it. The unseen was saying, nope, don't need them. Don't need them. We start over. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch. So where Pam Young is speaking to that Saturn as Father Time rules our experience of life as being sequential, linear, sequential, governed by principle of cause and effect, karma, dharma. There's this awareness that the slate is being cleared and we begin anew, but in a major way, in a massive way. This isn't just business as usual and, customary changes. There's some aspect about this where Saturn with Neptune in Aries, all these major outer planets changing signs. It is a real wake-up call. Welcome, Colleen. It is a real wake-up call that major change is afoot, is present. And welcome, Sue. Saturn is also the planet, so Pam Youngans goes on, Saturn is also the planet of maturity, discipline, and self-reliance. So as Father Time, it does Aries, so Aries as the first sign of the zodiac symbolizes beginnings and all the qualities that it takes to initiate a new endeavor, inspiration, courage, and assertive action. The archetypes of Aries include the pioneer, the risk taker, the initiator, the entrepreneur, and the leader. We are being called, the unseen, this time, this era, this moment, this matriarchal Aquarian era. It's inspiring and calling forth these archetypes of leader, entrepreneur, initiator, risk taker, pioneer. To understand how the upcoming Saturn and Aries years might manifest, our task as practitioners, as astrologers she's speaking to, and students of astrology is to combine what we know about the planet, Saturn, with what we understand about the sign, Aries. As always, we must consider both the positive potentials and the shadow possibilities. We all must be aware that both are present. It's what we choose. It's our choices. In every moment, in every instance, what are we choosing? And there's an aspect here because the second thing from the unseen was Saturnalia. Saturnalia is a ancient Roman festival to, at the time, the god Saturn, if you will. So during the ancient Roman festival of Saturnalia, a significant ritual involved loosening the woolen ties that bound the statue of the god Saturn. This act symbolized a temporary liberation of the god and was a central part of the festival's revelry. The act of releasing Saturn's statue was a symbolic representation of the freedom and abundance associated with the festival. Now, Saturnalia was celebrated on the 17th of December, and it's where, in essence, it was the predecessor, if you will, to Christmas. Okay. Number 2 from the unseen is Saturnalia, loosening the bonds of slavery, of freedom. So Saturn with Neptune in Aries, there is this Saturnalia effect, this loosening of the ties, of the bonds of slavery, the bonds to effectuate freedom, liberty. Because again, Saturn knows where we've been. We know, humans know where we've been. So it is incumbent upon us. It is about the choices we make It is the higher ideals. Neptune, the higher ideals. Saturn, is there work involved? Yes, but it's in Aries. There's fire, and even though it's in its detriment, the detriment is about humility, authenticity. Hexagram 15, and we're going to come up. Let me just get to it. It's number 3. Because the next thing I heard from the unseen was tic-tac-toe. Well, of course, for us in America and so forth, it's a game, right? However, that game is based on something really pretty incredible, which, again, I had no knowledge of. So tic-tac-toe, also known as noughts and crosses, is one of the most widely known games, found everywhere from the temples of ancient Egypt to the medieval cathedrals of England. Tic-tac-toe has entertained people for centuries. While tic-tac-toe is now considered a child's game, it was not always the case. In the past, the game was linked to pagan rituals dedicated to the magic properties of the 9-square grid. The grid was known as the magic square because the numbers 1 through 9 could be arranged so that their sum is the same horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. During the Middle Ages, the magic square was known by secret societies as the Kabbalah of the 9 Chambers. They believed that the magic square held a numerological message about the world. Number 3 from the unseen is tic-tac-toe, the magic square of Saturn, and its message for the world, ... today. When you look at the magic square of Saturn, and you utilize the numbers 1 through 9, and again, they add up to the same value, the same sum, horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. They add up to the number 15. 15, hexagram 15, is humility, authenticity, to be our true selves, to be humble. 1 and 5, 1 is about the creative force, Aries, the creative force, the sun. 5 is about change. Add them together, they become a 6. The 6 rests upright. It's like an egg being on its, balancing itself. It's about spirit and service. Unity, we the people. So there's a massive message here with Saturn entering Aries and how this regenerative humbling, this loosening of the bonds of slavery to effectuate freedom, this magic square that again is speaking to humility, authenticity, what's at your center. And no matter which way, when you place the numbers in the magic square of Saturn, when you align them, they all equal 15. So in essence, we come back to that magic square, always comes back to what's at your center. Humility, authenticity. We've talked about laying down the masks, the labels, the identities, the scripts, the stories, all these things that burden us, that layer us, that prevent us from reaching this higher octave, this higher order. It's number 4 from the unseen. A higher order. Now, get out of, quote, the way. And I started laughing once because we hear about this, what's in your way? Get out of your own way, right? We hear this all the time. Number 4 is a higher order. Now get out of the way and get to work. And so the way, get out of the way. The way is the way. So the unseen is saying to us, a higher order. Now. Like now, and now, so there was a double meaning to that as well. So as in now, immediate, present moment, and now as in actionary. Now get out of the way. The way is your soul. The way is your soul source connection. The way is attributed to Master Jesus, to God, to the all that is, the host, the master weaver. So the unseen, it's foundational. They're saying a higher order now. Now get out of the way and get to work. Get to work meaning get in, be ready, be in alignment, move with these energies. So I love that. Thank you. Dr. Sue is saying that this color pink is her favorite color, and I love it as well. It's beautiful, and it represents the divine feminine as well. So, so now let's go to Astrology by Lauren, and she is speaking to two of the three aspects, the astrological aspects that we're speaking about. So, Astrology by Lauren. On May 18th, Jupiter will perfect, so this was just a few days ago. On May 18th, Jupiter will perfect two transits. It's sextile. A sextile is a harmonious aspect in astrology. It's sextile to the centaur Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer, so it's about healing. And it's square. Squares are frictional aspects, challenges. They open, we talked about this, that it allows choices. So it's square to the true nodes. The nodes are the nodes of the moon in astrology. One is a transit of healing, teaching, and understanding. So this sextile to Chiron. The other reminds us that we are still at a crossroads. That's the square, Jupiter square, the true nodes of the moon. There is a shift in the air as we stand in this place. Jupiter is at the bending of the nodes. They're on an arc. A place where we navigate our way from one era into the next. Overwhelmed by information, we still have so much more to learn. Jupiter is the ruling planet of Pisces, the sign of the North Node. It is currently transiting the place directly between the North and the South nodes at 25 degrees of Gemini. That place we call the bendings of the nodes. Jupiter is now at that particular bending that is in service to the North Node in Pisces. So Jupiter is at this particular degree, which is at the bending, in service to the North Node. The North Node is where humanity is going. The South Node is what we're releasing. So here's Jupiter, the great benefactor, is now at that particular bending that is in service to the North Node in Pisces, to where humanity is going. Jupiter in Gemini aims to fulfill the behests of the North Node. But to do that, we need to integrate the qualities of that planet Jupiter, now traveling in the sign of Gemini as it relates to the sign of Pisces. Gemini is a sign of communications, of knowledge, wisdom. And like one candle lighting another, see, we were just saying, when one person makes the choice and the next person and the next person, it ripples out. So, and like one candle lighting another, we are being asked to share the light. Not darkness, not oppression and suppression and fear-mongering. The light. We are being asked to share the light. Jupiter in Gemini aims to carry the wisdom and knowledge from one to another, as it would from teacher to disciple, from the wisdom of our forebears to those who are but young and still trying to find their way forward. And when we look at where we are, again, the backdrop of the United States and so forth, the founding fathers of America knew the tyranny of the past, the anarchy, the tyranny, the oppression and suppression, kingship. And here it's like, so Jupiter in Gemini aims to carry the wisdom and knowledge from one to another, as it would from teacher to disciple, from the wisdom of our forebears to those who are but young and still trying to find their way forward. Jupiter, Gemini, North Node at that bending moment. It's wake up. We know where we've been. There's a better tomorrow, a better future. There's a higher order, a higher ideal. Now get out of the way and get to work. Stop impeding greatness. Don't impede your greatness. Lay down all the mass identities, labels, scripts, stories, lay it all down and embrace this higher order. It's not the past, it's the present future. Jupiter is our guide, our guardian, our teacher in its highest expression. And through Gemini, it aims to spread the word. Through the North Node in Pisces, we are being asked to have faith that we are being led precisely where we need to be, even if it doesn't look like it, even in the face of uncertainty and doubt, and even if there is no reason to have hope and faith. I mean, it looks like a dumpster fire, like just a burning dumpster fire on the world stage. But that doesn't mean to give up faith and hope and truth. It's to quadruple down on them. Because the arc of destiny moves forward. The bending of the nodes, this degree that Jupiter is at. It's the North Node, it's where we're going. Through the North Node, in Pisces, we are being asked to connect with and trust our own spiritual center, our soul source connection, that spark of divinity within, and allow that to be our guide. Pisces is a sign of compassion, of empathy, and connection. It's matriarchal, it's Aquarian. Saturn is at that very last degree of Pisces, in the last sign of the zodiac. On May 24th, Saturn will then enter Aries. It's the 24th in the Americas and 25th in Europe. Whenever a major planet enters Aries, there is this surge of raw energy heralding a rebirth. It's heralding, calling out, shouting out, reporting. This is the second outer planet in only a matter of months to enter the sign of Aries, following Neptune's entrance on March 30th. Yet from where we are standing at this point with Saturn, the planet that rules our world of matter, physical matter, the planet that serves our foundation, we are still in this process of letting go of what once was in the previous cycle. We're days away. We can almost sense a sloughing off, perhaps even a sadness for what once was, as we stand on the threshold of what is yet to be. We're not at the threshold. Here, Astrology by Lauren, she's speaking to the fact that we're on the threshold. We are right there. We're standing on the threshold, and then we cross in. We step in. So we have this beautiful, and it's okay, yes, there are things, welcome Leah, there are these aspects that we can have a melancholy, feeling and emotion and everything of things, of who we've been, of letting go of the people, the places, the things. Okay. However, don't allow that to become an obstacle for who you are becoming. Because it's the next iteration, the next incarnation of you within the incarnation. And this is true of institutions, governments, businesses, countries. It is about becoming, however, highest ideal. Saturn with Neptune in Aries. So the great teacher with the highest ideal, with the creative force, the sun, the ability to make it happen. And that it's long lasting. Because Saturn it's a long lasting effect. This isn't a flash in the pan, a fly by night. This is foundational. Welcome, Olivia. Astrology by Lauren, she concludes, as the ruling planet of Pisces, it would seem that Jupiter's sextile to Chiron, the wounded healer, and sextile, this harmonious aspect, comes precisely when we are needing it most. Both Jupiter and Chiron serve as guides in their own fashion. Together, they aim for us to find whatever guidance we are needing most right now. Whether that be the right teacher, the best healer, or healing method, a teaching that falls in your lap, or a book that proves to be both inspiring and insightful. Jupiter and Chiron are conspiring to show us something that is really important. Great benefactor with Chiron, conjunct with, or sextile in Chiron. This bending of the arc with the North Node at that degree, where we're going. And she concludes with a quote by John Lewis, across that bridge. You are a light. You are the light. Never let anyone, any person, or any force dampen, dim, or diminish your light. Study the path of others to make your way easier and more abundant. It's by seeing our own innate light. It is by having the courage is contagious, to rise up, to be this higher order, this higher ideal of ourselves. And when one does it, and the next does it, and the next does it, it's like this beautiful, rippling cascade of light. I'm using the term, a tsunami of light. That is massive and beautiful and epic. Number 5 from the unseen is a cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. So this shift, this Saturn into Aries, co-presence with Neptune, all the major planets changing signs. This, it's number 5, denotes change, is a cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. A geometric recalibration, like in relation to a camera, is where it takes what's 2D and 3D and reconciles them so that the image that the camera produces is discernible. We understand what it is, we can see it. So here the unseen is saying to us, a cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. It means that the reality, our reality as we understand it, is going to shift and change. Our perspective, our place in it. So the order, a higher order, is going to prevail, and it will allow us to see things in a whole new way. However, the image will make sense. It will reconcile itself. However, against the old backdrop, again, we've been there. So if it's an old image of yourselves, or an old image of the world, or a company, or an institution, or the way we do business, a cosmic geometric recalibration of reality, it's going to shift and shift big. And it will then, this will occur in a way that benefits us all because we're flying above the clouds. It's the umbrella effect. Now let's move. I want to just go to our second quote because this fits in with the humility of everything. When the firm and yielding are distinct from each other, when the high and low move separately, when anything reaches its extreme, it must turn back. This is a quote by the master. So see when we're too high and mighty and too low, this division of peoples, of the levels in life, when anything reaches its extreme, it must turn back. Well, here's Saturn turning back. It's starting again. It's turning back to its purity. And the image is this knotted rope and how it's been twisted up into a knot. Well, that's where we find ourselves. We're all twisted up into this knot. Hexagram 21, the biting through, it's the Gordian knot. It is about breaking through Saturnalia, loosening the bonds of slavery to achieve freedom, liberation, this greater good. I want to bring in, because it's our main theme, and it's towards the end of the show, but I want to bring it up because what I heard was with Saturn in Aries, moving into Aries, co-presence with Neptune, with all of this massive change. And what I heard was Peacemaker Rainmaker. And so Peacemaker in the Bible, a peacemaker is an individual who actively works to reconcile and restore harmony, both with God and with others. This includes mediating in conflicts, sharing the gospel, and fostering peace between individuals, communities, and even nations. The term peacemaker is used in Matthew 5:9, where Master Jesus states, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." Well, and Rainmaker. A person, it can be two things. A person who produces or attempts to produce rain by rituals, scientific technique, or artificial means. It's also a person who brings in new business and wins new accounts almost by magic, since it is often not readily apparent how this new business activity is procured. So our main theme with all of this Saturn and the red and white, the upper and lower crowns of Egypt, the magic square of Saturn, Saturnalia, a higher order, this cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. And they said, hang on, ... it's going to get interesting. It's about Peacemaker, Rainmaker, and this aspect that Saturn in Aries, and it's about reconciliation, renewal, and release. This regenerative humbling. This is what's on offer, and our mantra is time waits for no one. This is an image of Saturn, of Kronos, of Father Time, holding the hourglass with that beautiful astrological mosaic behind. Time waits for no one. The train has left the station. The era that ends, it's done. It's going nowhere fast. It ends. So our mantra is time waits for no one. So in this moment of Saturn entering Aries and in co-presence with Neptune and all the major planets changing, woo woo, get on board, get moving, get out of the way, get to work, because the train's left the station. We're going to conclude with an excerpt from astrobutterfly.com, another astrologer, in two aspects. We're talking about the full moon in Scorpio. So this is where at the beginning of the show, I said we're going to discuss something that occurred on May 12th. It's now the 21st, so we have this mirror image. And then they will discuss Saturn and Neptune and Aries, a new world. So full moon in Scorpio on May 12th, no turning back. See, this was a no turning back event. The full moon at 22 degrees Scorpio marked a no turning back threshold. So here Astro Butterfly is talking about a no turning back threshold. And Astrology by Lauren is saying we're standing on the threshold. A choice has been made, whether consciously or not, and from this point on, the road only moves forward. We are living interesting astrological times. A cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. Hang on, it's going to get interesting. So we are living interesting astrological times. Right now, we have a foot in two worlds. A long, long chapter is coming to an end. Saturn is still in Pisces at 29 degrees until the 25th, ready to step into Aries. Uranus is in its final stretch in Taurus. Jupiter will soon move into a new sign, but for now, it's still in Gemini. Yet we can see glimpses of what's on the other side. What's on the other side of all these major, as above, so below, all these major events, these planets moving signs. Pluto has switched signs, moving into Aquarius back in November. Neptune has recently moved into Aries. Energetically, we are already in this new Pluto-Neptune chapter of our lives, but there are still things to untangle. There's that Gordian knot, exit 21, biting through. So there are still things to untangle, make sense of, and release. Here at the cross between two worlds, between an old chapter and a new one, the full moon in Scorpio comes to illuminate the emotional depth of this transition. It's deep. It's transformative. It's like transfiguration. We are being asked to release the past. We can see on the world stage where people are cleaving to it. Oh my gosh, in ways that are quite disconcerting. I'll use that word. That's being kind. because it's deep. It's visceral. There's fear attached, whether it's joyous fear, because remember, fear, everything's energy. So the fear of it, the energy of fear, we either utilize it to propel us forward or to immobilize us, to try to freeze time. But that's not happening. The Sabian symbols, the unseen, saying, no, we're wiping the slate clean. Don't do the Sabian symbols for these two events. The sun enters Gemini and Saturn enters Aries. It's like there's a whole new game, a whole new gig. It's like, wait and see what happens next. That kind of energy. So here at the crossroads between two worlds, between an old chapter and a new one, the full moon in Scorpio comes to eliminate the emotional depth of this transition, because times are a changin', as Bob Dylan said, whether we like it or not, whether we're ready or not. There's no turning back now. At the upcoming new moon, which is coming up on the 27th of May, it is a Gemini new moon, Saturn will already be in Aries, following in Neptune's footsteps, pressing the reset button. There's the Etch-a-Sketch, the reset button. At this threshold moment in time, when we still have one foot in two worlds, let's take what truly matters, the wisdom we've gathered on our long journey all the way to Pisces, and let's open ourselves to new possibilities. Soon, very soon, we'll be standing fully in a new world, birthing something new from the ashes of what we've outgrown. We're at that threshold. We're standing on it. We're ready. There are those that are trying to prevent it, but it's futile. It's useless. So in our individual lives, get out of the way. Get out of your own way. Get out of the way. Get to work. Be ready. Get in alignment. Be proactive. Choose this next version of ourselves, of yourself, of the world. That's where all the magic and the awe and the wonder lies. That's where it resides. It's before us. The world that came before us and the world that's before us. Now, Astro Butterfly, she concludes, this is the Saturn and Neptune and Aries, a new world. We cannot separate the Saturn and Aries transit from its co-presence with Neptune, and especially the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which happens later on February 20th, 2026, because both planets are going to retrograde. So Saturn's going to move into Aries. Then later in the year, both are going to retrograde back into Pisces, clean up, finish up, and then they're going to, in February, on the 20th of February 2026, they're both going to be conjunct at 0 degrees Aries. That's like a whole new world. It's the reset degree of the zodiac. So astrobutterfly.com. Saturn and Neptune will be involved in an auspicious configuration called a minor triangle with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. Uranus is expect the unexpected. This will be in effect from now until late 2026. And it's a defining feature of the Saturn in Aries transit. Can you see how all of these major outer planets are conspiring with one another? Conspiring for us to advance us forward. You can see the smile on my face, and I hope you hear it in my voice. It's so exciting because it hasn't happened before. This is the threshold that we stand on. astrobutterfly.com continues. This triangle is a rare configuration that brings together all the outer planets into a remarkable alignment of forces. The umbrella effect. The drive for transformation, Pluto, innovation, Uranus, and structured vision, Saturn, Neptune. Saturn, as the last visible planet in our solar system, defines the boundary of what we are allowed to see and understand. But then there's more beyond Saturn but then there's more. Beyond Saturn lies the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. It's all the things beyond Saturn that we can't see with the naked eye, the unseen, that exist. They're out beyond, which may be invisible to the naked eye, but are just as real as anything else in the solar system. They orbit the sun, doing their thing, whether we're aware of them or not. Of course, the fact that they're invisible to the naked eye is a metaphor. They represent forces we're not fully conscious of, which is why Uranus transits feel fated or expect the unexpected, or why Neptune transits can feel confusing, elusive, or strangely timed. Yet this time is different. Saturn follows in Neptune's footsteps, walking nearly hand in hand, offering us a rare opportunity to consciously engage with Neptune's source code. And Neptune's source code, a cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. And Neptune's source code is where the intelligence of the universe originates. Neptune is the script, the cosmic architecture, the invisible design through which life unfolds. It's the underlying algorithm of reality. And that algorithm is changing. We have social media algorithms constantly. We have advertising, marketing, and advertising. All these algorithms that currently try to manipulate. That's not authentic. It's inauthentic. It's not for our highest order, our highest best. It's to manipulate, sell something, manufacture something. It's artificial. So here, Neptune is the script, the cosmic architecture, the invisible design through which life unfolds. It's the underlying algorithm of reality, operating at a meta level beyond our usual awareness. Normally, we're not tuned into that intelligent design, our soul source connection, the unseen. We simply inherit the script, and so we experience life as fate. It's happening to us, not for us. We are born into a system, a society, and we follow its rules. When the rules change, when the script updates, we follow along, often without realizing anything has shifted at all. But when Saturn and Neptune meet at the first degree of the zodiac, the entire operating system undergoes a reboot. We've talked a lot about this in Weekly Wisdom and Insights, about a whole new world, a whole new operating system. The difference between MS-DOS and Macintosh. They're two completely different operating systems. So when Saturn and Neptune meet at the first degree of the zodiac, the entire operating system undergoes a reboot. The world as we know it enters a complete and total reset. We are stepping into a completely new world with a new vision, Neptune, and new rules, Saturn. Be ready, be proactive, because it's the final item from the unseen. And I loved this. It's number 7. And number 7 is the foundation of God's word. It's about perfection, divine completion, divine fulfillment. This is the divine advancing us forward. And so number 7 from the unseen is, and just like that. It's a very famous phrase from Sex and the City, and now the reboot, the reboot of Sex and the City, called And Just Like That. What they're saying here, number 7, this foundation, it's like, and just like that. Poof, and just like that. Whole new world, whole new operating system, a whole new higher order. This cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. And what does it inspire? Limitless possibilities. Possibility. That we the individual, we 8 billion souls on Mother Earth, on the planet, the whole of the whole, the cosmic universe, that we all get this upgrade, this reboot, this loosing of the bonds of slavery, freedom. There's a lot here. We've gone well over the hour. I'm so excited for where this is all going. I hope it's palpable and that you're feeling everything. And we will continue. We will continue to walk this journey, or flying high above the clouds, float through this journey and see where it all takes us. So until then, be well. We will see you next week, and be ready. Get out of the way.